What's up? It's J Larsen here, and I'm here to answer the age-old question of how much do the rich pay in taxes? Short answer, why do you care? All right, percentage-wise, it's probably lower than you, but dollar-wise, it's probably way more than you, unless you're also rich. Let's dive in. Number one, how does income tax work? Now, I'm not a CPA, I'm not your financial advisor, I'm no one who's gonna even try to understand all that stuff because this is complicated as crap. So I'm gonna go real fast through this. I pay people to figure this stuff out for me, and it's gonna be one of the major points of this whole video. But stick with me here because I have a huge point with it, okay? How does income tax actually work? Well, it's bracketed, so you're like, what's your income tax bracket? Well, it's really interesting because if I go in, just follow me here for a second. Let's say that I make anywhere from $0 to $9,800. I have a 10% tax on that. That makes sense. So 10% of that is taxable income. If I go in, I'm making between $9,800 and $40,000. It's 12%, so on and so forth. But there's this really weird thing that happens that let's say, okay, we got $40,000, $40,125. This $40,125 will be taxed at about 12%. If I make $40,126, that last dollar will get taxed at a 22% tax rate while the rest actually stays at 12. Does that make sense? If I take home $518,000, okay, $518,400, okay, what's crazy is I come in here, this $518,000, these ranges right here are taxed at 35. This gap is taxed at the 32. This gap is taxed at the 24. This gap is taxed. Holy smokes, there's a lot of calculation and numbers that go into this, and I honestly don't really try to concern myself that much with it. So let's go through one more quick example here, because I'm not your CPA, and I really think you should hire somebody to understand this stuff, and you should focus on making money. I always laugh when someone's like, I still do my own taxes. Why? Holy smokes, look at that. It took them a while to write the example here, but it's to illustrate a point. People get so obsessed over the taxes, you should not be focused as much on that as much as you do on income generating activities. Just for a quick last example. Let's say that you take home $5,000. It's the first time you've really done much on the internet and you've brought home $5,000. That means I'm here in this 10% tax rate. I'm gonna owe the government $500. Simple example, right? Let's say though that I'm in the $30,000 range, right? Of the $30,000, 9,800 of that will be taxed at the 10%, and the remaining will be taxed here at the 12, which means all the calculations, I'm gonna have $3,400 in taxes on my 30. Does that make sense? Okay, and if it doesn't, it's kind of part of my points here, okay? There's a lot behind the tax law. It's 8,000 pages, 40 of it are on how you get taxed. What's the other thousands of pages? Let's talk about that. I was at a social gathering, we'll leave it at that, and I overheard somebody say, Steve, how's business going? And I was like, Humpty-do, it's awesome, I freaking love what I do, it's amazing, I get to do stuff like this with you. I have overheard people say things like, you know what, I really wanted to go do that, but if I make more money, it just means I have to pay more in taxes. Holy smokes. Guys, if you're on this channel right now, and you see how much of a capitalist pig I am, and I'm like, hey, let's go sell, and let's go try and actually make good change in the world, and you don't go unleash your gift on the world because you're afraid of slightly more taxes, that's crazy. That's one of the greatest cop-outs ever. It's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video with you guys, so that you could see, like, I hope that an increase in taxes is not the reason you're not moving forward. Funny enough, how much do the rich pay in taxes is like one of the most searched things that we have found, obviously, in this time. How much do the rich pay in taxes? Like, it seems like every 4 years, every new political race, how much do they pay in taxes? It's like, hopefully, legally, a small amount. Did you know that the 1%ers cover over 60% of the tax burden? Whoa. So people are like, better tax the rich more. Why? So the other 99% get to pay less, right? Like, are you kidding me? That's nuts. What does it mean to be a 1%er? One of the guys that does my finances, he's like, did you know that to be a 1%er, now no one go nuts on me in the comments, but feel free to if you want to. I could use the boost in the algorithm, all right? A 1%er only has to take home $240,000 a year. It's 240 grand. Now, I know that's a lot, but it's really not. I was broke as a joke when I was in college. I called my dad once and I asked for money. I said, Dad, could you please help me? I don't know where we're gonna eat. It was a really intense situation I was in. And much to my blessing, he said, this is the actual thing. He said, son, no. He said, if I give you this money now, you will not exhaust the resources you didn't know you had. Okay, I'm a father of 3. How about that for some grade A parenting right there? I'm so glad he didn't just bail me out, essentially, right? He said, you would not exhaust the resources you didn't know you had. And my fear is that people sometimes will not go do the thing that they are meant to do in this life because they're like, oh, it means I'm going to get taxed a little bit higher. It's like, whoa, you have so many resources at your disposal, you don't even know you're there simply because you won't let yourself feel some pressure. I dare you to feel discomfort. I dare you. Okay, so the 1%, all you have to take home is $240,000. I definitely have the rags the richest story. And yes, 240 grand is a lot of money, but not that much money. I didn't make $1 million until I decided that $1 million is not really that crazy, this insane esoteric number that's unreachable that I go and say, right? I had to redefine my relationship with money. And if your big hang up on why you're not making money and choosing to not pursue your dream is, well, I'm going to have a higher tax bracket, I'm talking to you, all right? I dare you to redefine your relationship with money and what it actually is and see that it's not evil. The pursuit of it is not evil. What matters is your intent with it, right? So the 1%, you have to be taking home $240,000 a year. That's just to enter the 1% range. How much does the average 1%er take home per year though? $1 million. So you have to be making and take home $250,000 basically, 240 grand a year just to enter the 1% range. And then to really take the average that all the 1% are taking home, you need to be taking home $1 million a year. I want you to reset your brain and say, you know what? There might be some money false beliefs that I was raised with unintentionally that is not an accurate description of what actually money is. I might need to turn back around and let go of some of my money false beliefs and what it actually takes to create success. There's nothing wrong with getting rich on purpose, and I'm daring you to do it. You're watching this video now, you're probably wanting to. Go make money. Go make money on purpose. Do it. Profit's not evil. What matters, it goes back to the intent. But don't you dare use, oh, I'm going to pay more in taxes. That leads me to my third point. Hey guys, I recognize that I'm saying a lot of things here that are probably maybe different than the beliefs you were raised with. First of all, it's totally fine. I'm actually asking you to be open to them. If there's something that you've learned here though, where you're like, that's different than I was raised, or I had to overcome these money false beliefs, just like I had to, I'd like to actually know what those are in the comments below. Like I said, it was not till I realized $1 million is a lot, but it's not that much. Meaning, if it's a tangible, I can start to go reach it. If it's an intangible and it's this thing that's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to attain it. It's so far, it's so big out there. Like, oh, it actually mystified it, made it this mythical thing. And I never got close to it until I changed that. Let me know in the comments below what big reframes you're experiencing around money right now. Hey guys, the third point with this entire piece is for you to recognize that it is legal, ethical, moral, and completely patriotic to find a way to pay less in taxes. So while you're going in and you're like, oh, I'm not going to make more money because I don't want to pay more in taxes. Guess what all of us are doing? Legally finding ways. The IRS has told us that we don't need to increase our tax rate. Does that make sense? So yeah, obviously I do pay more in taxes, dollar. Last year was the first year I wrote a 6-figure check to the IRS. Drove me nuts. Oh gosh, I cannot tell you how painful it was. That sucked. It was not all of it. Like, oh geez. Okay, but it was a significantly dropped tax rate than it was the year before. Legally, ethically, morally, right? Patriotically. And so what I'm trying to help you understand is that, yeah, of course you're going to pay more in taxes, but the tax code's 8,000 pages. 40 of them are on how you get taxed. What are those other thousands? It's legally how you don't need to pay taxes. Legal loopholes to taxes. Legal ways to get tax credits and deferments. Legal ways to not have your taxes increased. And it's just a game that the IRS says, like, hey, check it out. This is our incentive program. These are the things we need in the economy. If you go do these housing, energy, right, clean energy projects, they incentivize you and they reward you tax-wise for those activities. That doesn't mean paying less in taxes is this crazy thing that we're trying to find these loopholes. It's out of their own mouths that we're learning how to drop our tax rate. And many people who are brand new in any kind of like money-making space, a lot of times they'll, well, how much are the rich paying in taxes? Right? And we're finding ways to drop it out of the mouth and out of the rules of the IRS all along. Nothing wrong with that. Now you see how gigantic this is. This is just like one little piece of it. The math on this, I understand it, but I'm like, holy smokes. Guys, I want to just this final point here. What I'm trying to make is hire other professionals to go do this. I'm not your tax guy, your financial advisor. I'm not in that. I'm none of those things, okay? I'm just trying to show you guys and expose the rest of the, hey, this is what we actually go do. I go hire someone whose whole job is to understand the 8,000 page tax code, which updates once every 30 years. I'm gonna go ask them to show me what I should go do. In fact, I'm gonna pay them to go do it, and I'll still save more money than they actually cost. Sounds like a good deal to me. And do it ethically, morally, and patriotically in the eyes of the government, from the voice of the government, from the rules that they set out. Is this making sense? I'm hoping that this is reframing, well, how much do the rich get paid in taxes? If they're smart, hopefully nothing. Because it means that they've played the government's game, and the government has said, do these things in the economy, and we will reward you tax-wise with it. That's awesome. That means that I'm starting to work with the government on certain projects that they need. That doesn't mean that the rich are unethical by paying less in taxes. Hopefully. I always laugh when someone says, well, every 4 years, every time election season comes along, what was their tax bill? What was their tax rate? Oh my gosh, it wasn't that high? Yeah, it's because they're smart and they know how to read and hire smart people. That's it. They're not doing anything shady. If you disagree, I'm totally cool to hear your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video and you want to hear more about my views on capitalism and taxes, or if you even share some of these views I'm talking about, I would go get a capitalist pig shirt. Go to capitalismswag.com. We have a capitalist pig shirt. It's awesome. We have this shirt, the resting pitch face shirt. We have get rich, give back shirts. We have work for the system or build your own. Go to capitalismswag.com to get yours for free now.